World War II was the deadliest conflict in human history. Over 70 million people died, cities were destroyed, entire nations changed forever. But here's the question, why did it happen? World War I had already shocked the world. They called it the war to end all wars. So how did we end up with a second one, just 20 years later? The truth is, World War II didn't begin with one event. It built up slowly, over years. Mistakes, fear, anger, and broken promises all played a role. Let's break down what really caused World War II and why it still matters today. To understand why World War II happened, we have to start with how World War I ended. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles officially ended the First World War. But instead of healing, it punished. Germany was forced to accept full blame for the war. It lost land, it lost colonies, and it was ordered to pay enormous reparations, billions of dollars, in today's money. This crushed Germany's economy. Inflation skyrocketed. People lost jobs, homes, hope. Worse, many Germans felt humiliated. They didn't just lose a war, they lost their identity. This created the perfect storm for something dangerous: resentment, anger, and the belief that Germany had been betrayed, not defeated. It's in this climate of pain and pride that the seeds of World War II were planted. When people lose faith in the system, they start looking for anyone who promises to fix it. That's exactly what happened in Germany, Italy, and Japan. In Germany, Adolf Hitler rose from the chaos. He was a fiery speaker, a war veteran, and most of all, he told the people what they wanted to hear. He promised to restore Germany's greatness, to tear up the Treaty of Versailles, to rebuild the economy, and to give the people someone to blame: foreigners, communists, and especially Jews. At the same time, in Italy, Benito Mussolini was building a fascist state where power was absolute and the individual didn't matter. Italy dreamed of rebuilding a Roman-style empire, and in Japan, military leaders pushed aggressive expansion across Asia, seeking resources and dominance. These regimes shared something dangerous: extreme nationalism, militarism, and a belief that war could solve problems. Democracy was weakening. Dictatorship was rising. And the world was inching closer to collapse. One speech, one promise, one lie at a time. As these dictators gained power, the rest of the world watched, and hesitated. Hitler started testing the limits. In 1936, he sent German troops into the Rhineland, a clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles. No one stopped him. In 1938, he annexed Austria again. No resistance. Then came the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia with many ethnic Germans. Hitler demanded it. Britain and France gave in, hoping it would satisfy him. This policy became known as appeasement. The idea was simple: give Hitler what he wants, and maybe he'll stop. But dictators don't stop. They push harder when they see weakness. Appeasement wasn't just a mistake, it was a green light. And behind the scenes, Germany was rearming at full speed, preparing for a war no one else seemed willing to face. Yet by 1939, Hitler had made it clear he wasn't going to stop. That year, Germany signed a secret pact with the Soviet Union. On paper it was a non-aggression agreement, but behind the scenes they had a deal to divide Poland between them. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland from the west. Just over 2 weeks later, the Soviet Union invaded from the east. This time, Britain and France had had enough. 2 days after Germany's attack, they declared war. It was official: World War II had begun. But the truth is, the war didn't start overnight. It had been building for years, through silence, fear, and failure. Hitler's invasion of Poland lit the fuse, but the explosives were already stacked, wired, and waiting. A global Great Depression had left millions jobless and desperate. That desperation fueled extreme politics everywhere, not just in Germany. The League of Nations, the world's first attempt at collective security, proved toothless. When Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931 and Italy attacked Ethiopia in 1935, the League protested and did nothing. Colonial rivalries, resource shortages, and racial ideologies added more sparks. Japan sought oil and rubber in Southeast Asia. Italy dreamed of a new Roman Empire. Germany wanted living space in Eastern Europe. So while the invasion of Poland triggered the formal declarations of war, the real causes were systemic economic collapse, wounded pride, unchecked aggression, and a world order unable or unwilling to enforce peace. World War II wasn't a single domino, it was an entire field, already tipping. You might be thinking, this is all history. Why does it still matter? Because the causes of World War II weren't ancient or unique. They were human, and they're still with us today. Economic despair, political division, scapegoating, the rise of leaders who promise everything while blaming everyone. World War II is a warning, a reminder of what happens when fear takes over and reason falls silent. It shows how fragile peace really is, and how quickly it can unravel when no one stands up early enough to stop it. World War II didn't happen overnight. It was the result of choices, some loud, some silent, some made in anger, others made out of fear. It was fueled by pain left untreated, promises left broken, and power left unchecked. And maybe the biggest lesson is this: history doesn't just Repeated warns. When we ignore that warning, when we let hatred grow, when we stay silent in the face of injustice, when we trade freedom for false promises, we edge closer to the same mistakes. Understanding how the war began isn't just about looking back, it's about paying attention right now. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, leave a comment, hit like, and subscribe for more deep dives that go beyond the headlines. Because history isn't just in books, it's in us.